Because where is that thing?
Oh, it is. I didn't have my mic on. I wanted to show you my baby, how beautiful she has gotten. She's one of the ones that came up here that was so abused in such a horrible, horrible condition. Get her out of the light. She got blue eyes. She sort of got the albino thing. So she don't like light. Anyway, she's beautiful, wonderful, sweet pussycat that's way too fat. And she's about 8 months old. And we love her. You old sweetheart. I wish I could do the whole video with her, but I can't. So anyway, I'm going to let her down and she can go back to her bed. So, got to get my beauty mark over here. Anyway, I told you, I come to you to talk to you about something serious. Very serious. Many years worth of serious, many centuries, many millennia worth of serious. And what I want to talk to about is the season and the reason. We've got a season coming up. I haven't talked a whole lot about the background, my background in the faith. But I guess I need to do something sort of quick. I don't want to spend a whole lot of time on it. If you want to know something else, you can ask me something else somewhere else. I don't have to do a full story. I came into the faith at 17, started keeping Shabbat, keeping Sabbath, because that's all we understood it as. I came in under the name of Jesus. That was what I understood. I was a little boy, had horrible things happen, but I was saved. I was lifted up. I've written about my story. It's in a book I hope to get out somewhere, so maybe it can help somebody, because we have so many people that are going through horrors in their life, horrors in their childhood, and I found a way out because I got lifted out. This isn't a real soapy, sad thing that I'm coming here to talk to you about. I'm just letting you know I was that little 9-year-old kid at the bus stop that's trying to tell somebody about Jesus, because the things that had happened up to me up till I was 5 and a half and left at my granny's. Actually, a great aunt left by, close to a river, sort of like Huckleberry Finn kind of thing. It was one of those kind of lives. When I was left there, I was around people that had faith. My aunt was the Bible scholar of the family. My granny was sort of upset about all of it because she was almost 80, and I was done really bad at church as a child because I didn't have a family, so I was made fun of. I was left pretty much with nothing, so I didn't have the clothes the kids had. Now, this is in the 60s. This is in like 67, 66, 67, 68, up in that area. So by the time I was, 10, I didn't want to go to church anymore because I got tired of being made fun of. I was a kid that didn't have the mom and the daddy. But what was happening at home, because I just play sick if I had to not go and hear somebody scream about, Brother Benny scream about, "You're going to hell!" Yeah. Now, I had just had the hell beat out of me for years as a child, and I wanted to go hear that. No, thank you. So Granny said, "Well, if you ain't going to church, we're going to turn something on." Well, she did. And we had the Oral Roberts, which was good. It was fine. I enjoyed the music. I was a little boy. The story. But then there's this old man. And he just seemed grumpy. He'd sit there and sort of on the table, and he'd talk about the faithfulness and the law and the way things should be and what happened. And it made sense to me. It did something to my insides. Now, I didn't know who it was. It was Herbert Armstrong. I was a little boy, but the things he said and what he stood for touched me somewhere inside that man can't touch. So as I grew up and things got worse and worse and horrible things happened, I got a job. I was 17. got married, got a job. I was going to try to right all the wrongs of my family and the history of my family. It's a bad history, and I was going to right them. Well, I met somebody, and he said, when we talked about Bible stuff, that's what I like to do, you know. And this was back in the 70s by now, and people still talked about Bible stuff. And he's like, Robert, you know about Sabbath? And I was like, what? Yeah, you know about the Sabbath? And he started talking. My world's never been the same. It went to hell for a long time because, you know, the adversary does not want you thinking about these things, especially as a young person if you have a job to do. My granny always told me I had a job to do. I just figured I'd found my job. That's about the most background you need to know. So I've been in this Sabbath keeping, Yahweh's covenant faith for over 40 years now. I've seen things come and go. I've come and gone. You try to live the faith that's in your heart for that long straight, with a straight face, and it all works. Please dial 9 something something so you can talk to me and tell me that that's real. This walk is tough. You have to come out of slavery. You have to come out of pain. You have to come from these things for this walk to actually, honestly mean anything to you. This is the experience. This is the Egyptian experience. This is the experience that our forefathers had. This is the experience of exile. And here comes another season. The reason for the season. I've been around this long enough. I've seen the complete destruction and failure and breaking apart of basically an empire. Because after the old man died, and I say that in a way of reverence, it went bad. And the people that suffered, and there's some people that are still suffering from the broken hearts and the broken promises that they thought they had coming. And maybe if they'd have stuck around, it would have... You backslide and you get up. You fall down and you get up. My first feast, I was 17. I came home. My wife was gone. She didn't want any part of this. I didn't want to leave. I could have stayed there forever. It was the most wonderful, wonderful thing that I've ever experienced. My heart was on fire for the faith that I understood. And you got to realize back then we didn't understand the Hebrew. It just wasn't brought forward. The Messianic movement eventually came around, but what I'm talking about is the collapse of an empire. Most of the folks that I know now, only a few have been around anywhere near and seen what I've seen over time. We saw the collapse of an empire, literally. And I've said that I think 3 times. It's necessary to say it 3 times for you to get it. Well, I was able to find that there were still people keeping the Sabbath. You know, I wouldn't go hunting. I wouldn't go to the drag strip. So many things that my friends didn't understand I wouldn't do. And I did that. I avoided all kind of things so I could do the right thing. But our whole world had fallen apart when the worldwide church of God collapsed. And the scandals that came forth. Like I said, people are still suffering from what men do. Well, here we are again. And I've been back around the sort of Hebraically inspired aspect for, a long time now. I didn't know they existed. I got the internet again. back in 2005, 6, something like that. I didn't want it anymore. Come out of his people. I don't have any people. His people. So that's what I was focused on. I didn't have the TV. I kept my nose to the grindstone. Anyway, I found this new group of people. I was nervous. I was so excited. I didn't know what to expect. Now I'm telling this story for a very specific reason. It may run into a second part. I'm not sure. I'm sort of stuck with this 15-minute thing. I don't quite know how all this works. But it's important that I talk about it. We have a new influx of people, maybe every 5 to 10 years, whatever. You have the people that come in that their hearts burn for this. You have the people that come in, they thought their hearts burned for it. You have the people that come in with a family member that doesn't want anything to do with it, and they leave. So it's the parable. I don't need to tell you. This is for people that sort of understand where I'm coming from. This isn't for the general public. The general public care less about the Shabbat or the feasts, the moeds, all the things that are associated with a covenant contract with Yahweh and our Yahusha, our Savior. Anyway, me and my beloved, my Dodi, we arrived at this place looking so forward to it. We didn't know what to expect. We come in, and it's interesting. And I'm met at the door, and the first thing I'm told, literally, sit down, shut the F up, because you don't know anything. Okay. Coach Catfish's been around the block a few times. So I did not get up in this 6'4" man's face, because I'm a small, sort of semi-frail type individual. I did. And I didn't tell my beloved, my Simcha, what had happened. For a number of years afterwards, that man had no earthly idea. He had been walking in the faith, 4, 5, 10 years, I don't know. For me, it's sort of been a lifetime. I came there for fellowship and hopefully to have something to learn and something to give at some point. I walked into one of the most wonderful things I'd ever experienced. It was where we were actually able to study in situ right there and talk and speak up and raise our hand and have discussion. It was not church. It was not that thing where you sit there and feel like crap for an hour, or they lift you up with some kind of a forklift of songs. It was the Word. The Word. The Word. That Word, that Debar, the Devarim, that which became flesh, dwelt among us for our good, that left every word necessary to bring ourselves out of the pit. The Word that goes in you is infused and becomes that Spirit that dwells. And every year, I've seen the same thing. And it breaks my heart. And I know it's going to come again. But you know what? Things may be bad enough that people drop their crap and really get serious about love. I got to go to part 2 because I'm running out of time.